Slowly the hush emerges over the room. As the tension mounts. And everybody wants to, I know what everyone is thinking now. I know everyone in this room is thinking, I hope the speeches are short and we get on and find out who the winner is. Don't worry, they will be. I'm going to say a couple of words of introduction. First of all, a huge thank you to the finalists for the amazing work that you have done for this prize. It's been absolutely extraordinary. Now, I would be lying if I said I didn't know who was going to win, but regardless of who does win, what I can absolutely assure you is that the quality of ideas from all of you mean that whether or not you are the winner, some of your ideas will go on to change British hospitals. And it is testament to your work that we have Minister of State from the Health Department here this evening, Edward Agar, that we have the person responsible for spending the money. Natalie Forrest has come here this evening as well. So be very nice to both of them. And I think also, and I hope you'll agree with this, it is testament to them that the government, that they are open-minded enough and enthusiastic enough to be here. So thank you very much to you and all your Health Department colleagues for being here as well. I'd like to thank the judges for the vast amount of work they've done in sifting through the prize material and getting to this stage. One of them this evening said to me that he felt he had been slightly hoodwinked into it when I just over a drink said, would you like to be a judge? But, it won't be a lot of work. But whilst I know it's been a lot of work, I hope that all the judges, and they have said to me personally how much they've enjoyed the process and how much they've got out of it. It's been an incredibly high-powered panel of judges, chief nurse, someone who actually runs one of Britain's foremost cancer care centres, one of Britain's most, I'm slightly galled to say, a much more successful businessman than me, a real panoply of stars. But they could not have done their job were it not for one person who I would like to single out for particular thanks, and that is the chairman of the judges, Lord Kakkar, AJ Kakkar, who has just been a pillar of strength. AJ is an extraordinary man. He's a brilliantly accomplished surgeon, he's a legislator, he's a deep thinker, but most of all, he is a man of extraordinary integrity and all-round brilliantly good bloke. Policy Exchange have been wonderful in facilitating this. Now, I have to admit, a lot of people have said to me, it's a great idea you had, Simon, this prize. Now, I'm going to be honest here. I stole the idea from the director of Policy Exchange, Dean Godson, Lord Godson. Thank you, Dean. And I have to also be honest on Dean's behalf. He stole it from Robert, who has been the prize director and who has done all of the work. And I'd like to finish by thanking Robert for the extraordinary work that he's put into organising this. So that is all from me. I'd like you to welcome Lord Kakkar, who is going to announce the winner and give a speech.
Yep, thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, my lords, ladies and gentlemen, Minister, Simon, thank you very much indeed for that kind introduction. And it really is a very great pleasure to be here this evening and to welcome, as I assume the internet is now working, those who are joining us online. Is it working? Yes? Well, maybe they'll be joining us. But it has really been for me a very great pleasure and privilege to chair the judges for this year's Wolfson Economics Prize. Two of my fellow judges are in the room tonight, but sadly three could not join us. Two of our colleagues are in the United States, and I hope making active preparation for Thanksgiving, a celebration that, of course, is dear to the American people and that we recognise here to be vastly important. And Dame Elaine Inglesby-Burke is actually at the Royal Liverpool Hospital, where she is working tirelessly supporting the transition into their new site, so has plenty of hands-on experience in terms of the challenge of new hospitals. And they, of course, will be watching, as are many others, on the live stream, I hope. I don't want to take too long speaking now, but I've been informed one has to be very careful in doing business with the Policy Exchange. Because very reasonable people that they are, there is at the head of Policy Exchange, Dean, Lord Godson. And it is very, very important that everything is conducted in the most fastidious and appropriate manner, and that proper respect and regard is given to all of those who have participated, principally those who made applications and put in entries to this important prize. So I won't take too long, but there are a few things that I would like to talk about before we reflect on the brilliant finalists and determine who has been awarded the £250,000 prize. Now, I remember well the conversation I had with Simon and the Policy Exchange team when they kindly invited me to chair this particular panel. I'm no stranger to occasional calls from Lord Godson, but I was very surprised to have seen 4 missed calls in quick succession, which made me slightly concerned that there was something brewing that one might need to be anxious about. And I have to say that the conversation I had with Simon and with Dean was brilliantly persuasive. But the reality was, quite frankly, gentlemen, I didn't need to be persuaded at all, because it was very clear that this is the perfect moment to launch a big, open public debate on hospital planning and design. And I say that because I've had the privilege for over 30 years to have been a clinician, and I understand that the hospital is much, much more than the mere built environment. And I was therefore very glad to be able to accept this invitation. After I was on board, of course, we had to go about bringing together a panel of judges. And we have really, as we heard from Simon, been particularly privileged and fortunate to have brought together some remarkable people. Dame Elaine, who's a former chief nurse of the Northern Care Alliance, Dr. Brian Donnelly, an orthopaedic surgeon, and the chief executive of the new Cleveland Clinic here in London. Dame Laura Lee, a clinical nurse specialist by background and chief executive of Maggie's. Robert Stern, an architect, teacher and writer and founder of the Robert A.M. Stern Architects Practice in the United States, and Nigel Wilson, the chief executive of Legal and General. And this group, remarkable group of individuals, turned out to be a truly multidisciplinary group with a diverse range of expertise and perspectives, perfectly placed to interrogate responses to the prize question and determine how we could draw conclusions based upon that variety of professional backgrounds. Now, the prize question, just to remind all of those here this evening, was the follows. How would you design and plan new hospitals to radically improve patient experiences, clinical outcomes, staff well-being, and integration with wider health and social care? It's 147 characters long, the question, the longest question in the history of the Wolfson Economics Prize. And there was a lot of debate about whether that would be appropriate. But I believe it was justified to have this particular question due to the incredible complexity that you find in our hospital environments. We wanted entrants to think about how you can keep the different desired outcomes of a well-run hospital in balance. And that's critically important because focus often tends to focus on one issue at the expense of others. So that in searching for the better clinical outcomes, we needed to ensure that we do not diminish patient experience, or in searching for better patient experiences, we do not diminish staff well-being. And that's the approach that the judges have taken, to consider holistically the objectives that must be met and how the hospital in its broader environment can deliver that. And importantly, we wanted the prize question to reflect the need for hospital planning not to be conducted in isolation, but to be thought of as part of the wider healthcare ecosystem. And this is something, again, that's critically important, that this investment in hospitals has got to drive more broadly the advances we acquire across the entire system of health if we're going to achieve for our patients, for our communities, staff, the economy, and the nation more generally. And so the result of this thought was a seemingly simple and intuitive question which captures the breadth of the challenges that attend hospital design. After the prize was launched in February, we then spent quite a lot of time encouraging people to enter. There's a lot of publicity. Policy Exchange are excellent at publicity and generating interest, but there was also some nervousness. I know that poor old Robert, about whom we've heard, and we'll hear a little bit more, the prize director, had sleepless nights. I understand that over 30 entries appeared in the final hour that the submission website was open. We received 98 entries, remarkably. And when you look at the breadth of those teams, some 250 organisations have participated in this competition from 15 different countries, bringing together architecture students from the Philippines and Canada, 11 NHS trusts, retired NHS nurses, A&E doctors, and former patients. So a real diversity in terms of the entrant pool. One entrant, I'm told, was 95 years old, which I believe was a record for the prize, but Simon may correct me. And there were a variety of quite interesting ideas. One, a sort of flotilla of HMS Wolfsons to be built off the English coastline, delivering care to our patients. Others were grounded in responding to immediate challenges facing the NHS, with designs for specialist elective centres in the Midlands and other really meaningful and thoughtful applications. And the competition, quite frankly, is nothing without the entrants. And I'd like you to join me in recognising each and every one of those individuals and teams, those 98 who had the thoughtfulness, the decency, and the commitment to put an application in. Thank you all very much indeed. Now, to be honest, it wasn't easy bringing down the 98 to our final 5 finalists. But after much deliberation, we settled upon 5 particularly thoughtful and innovative responses to the prize question. A plan to bring the hospital back into the town to better serve the local community and integrate with social care. A proposal to transform the emergency department with a linear design and adaptive first-class airline-style pods. A multi-sensory hospital inspired by the adaptive qualities of living systems. A hospital master plan inspired by starfish. And a proposal with a 7-point plan to create the complete hospital so that they are transformed from factories for fixing to places of healing. Each of those 5 then had a further 3 months to work on their more detailed secondary submissions. And I'd encourage everybody here, please, if you haven't done so far, to read those submissions in their totality on the Policy Exchange website. They are fascinating and each of them has the capacity to deliver elements that will be vitally important to our hospital systems, our health economies, and the future way in which we deliver care in our country. Alongside our 5 finalists, there are a lot of additional brilliant thinking that we believe needed to be highlighted. The judging panel recognised 3 highly commended entries and awarded 2 light bulb awards for especially innovative elements contained within a submission. I'd like to invite these entrants to stand up now and to receive a round of applause from the audiences here tonight. I shall tell you who they are. The 2 light bulb awards go to Healthcare Reimagined from the Academy of Medical Royal Colleges, represented by Dr. Wade, Dr. Carter, and Thobalt Quinn, and the High Street Hospital Model from Arup Sheffield, led by Derek Roberts and Dr. Helena Parsons. So please. And our highly commended submissions, The Caring Collective from Max and B. Farrell, Hospitals of the Future from Dr. Samantha Field and Nicholas Cully, and Rethink NHS from Zahar Hadid Architects, led by Manuela Gatto and Eugenia Posgun. So please, again. Now, let me assure you, ladies and gentlemen, we're nearly there in terms of announcing the winner. But first, I must mention, on behalf of the judges, the contribution of those who have made the prize process a truly successful undertaking. We were faced with a very large number of submissions, many of them highly technical, and we were delighted to have had the exceptional support and service of Dr. Hina Ladd, who generously volunteered time to assist with our review from a technical point of view. Thank you, Hina, most gratefully. I'd also like, of course, to echo Simon's words and thank Policy Exchange, Dean and Julia. Thank you. You've been quite remarkable in terms of mobilising what is a substantial resource intellectually and philosophically to support the delivery of this prize, and the prize secretariat, Robert and Sean, who have worked tirelessly on our behalf. Thank you all for that. And then I'd like to turn and really express deep gratitude and thanks to Simon and Eleanor Wolfson and the trustees of the Charles Wolfson Charitable Trust. There is no doubt at all that this is a hugely generously supported prize. I think in terms of value for an economics prize, only second to that given in memory of Alfred Nobel in economics. And Simon will explain far better than I, as we all gather after this ceremony for a drink, why the prize was first established and how the Wolfson look at this and why they believe, rightly, it is such an important contribution. But for me, it's very clear. Every few years, the Foundation, the Charitable Trust, is prepared to ask an open and bold question on a topical but intractable topic. And that is hugely important because it stimulates a debate. It generates innovative and imaginative thinking. Because of the way it's delivered, the prize ensures that everything that is considered is distributed broadly. And as a result of that, the prize money serves a far greater purpose than just rewarding the individuals or teams who are lucky enough to come top. It really, for me, has helped me understand that great innovation, radical thinking, has to be substantially supported. It can't happen in isolation. And the prize has provided an important construct, and we're now in, I believe, its fourth iteration of the prize, the capacity to do that. As we've seen with previous finalists and prize winners, success can be a real springboard for entrants and their ideas and help drive this national conversation. I'm very clear that with this year's prize, we will have a very similar, profound and lasting impact. And when I opened, a little longer ago than I should have done, I said that I jumped at the opportunity to chair the prize because it felt like such an important question to have at this moment in time in broad and informed conversation. We know that the government has made healthcare infrastructure a priority. And it's very great to see the Minister here and, of course, joining us very shortly up here this evening. A very important commitment and understanding of the key role that appropriate investment in infrastructure, and in particularly in hospitals, is going and can have. But the challenge now, of course, is that this great collective is a challenge for everybody. And we need to ensure that this phenomenal, I think quite reasonably described crowdsourcing exercise can have a material impact on the hospitals of today and the buildings of tomorrow. I'd now like to invite the Minister and Simon to come and join me up here on the stage, along with Robert, to assist us, so that we can announce the winner of the 2021 Wolfson Economics Prize. Please. Right, so now, I do mean this very, very sincerely. Thank you for joining me, first of all. I want to thank all the finalists for what they've done, their excellent contributions, and for making this competition so rich, so diverse, and so inspiring. They really were all brilliant. But one entry stood out for us. This submission was a bold, quite visionary response to the question, characterized by a consultative and co-produced approach. At the center of the submission was a simple idea that the building itself can become part of the caring team, nurturing recovery and improving health. I'm delighted to announce that the winner of the Wolfson Economics Prize 2021 is Living Systems from Abe Rogers Design. So that now brings us to the end of the formal part of our evening. once again, I can only express with great humility my thanks to all those who've involved, but most of all, those who entered this competition. It's been truly inspiring for me and all the judges. And I would suggest that we all retire now to the bar to celebrate this remarkable prize, the remarkable winning application, the remarkable finalists, and all of those who have participated, and think to the next round of the Wolfson Economics Prize and what Simon and Eleanor and the Charitable Foundation might think is the next big challenge they would like addressed. Thank you all indeed.